Magician.
If you implement that, it's still gonna be done on some cards, but all the cards have its own point page. And if you want to play
20 pieces
deck,
here, okay.
with a fit,
And Lightning Vortex and
Crucial worth
Crystal
15 points.
Sulfador.
Effie,
That's a new
30,
one.
President.
Hey YouTube, Dark Magician 84 here for both a Genesys Format Tournament report and a Genesys Format Dark Magician deck profile. Finally getting around to doing that. So yeah, this is what I went with today. Now, minus one side deck option, the deck adds up to 89 points. So yeah, we'll go over the point system. I mean, to be honest, it's not really any different from my Regenesis format version, but here we are. And again, this is pure Dark Magician as well. It's not the Primite version, because, well, I don't care for Primites. So of course we have my ace monster and favourite card, Dark Magician. I know a lot of decks play 2, but I just prefer having 3. Simple as that. Oh, and just so everyone knows, I still don't have Dark Magician of Destruction or the Gaze of Timaeus because they're too bloody expensive. Plus the other thing is, Dark Magician of Destruction is worth 15 points, so even if I do get it, it might be hard to run it anyway. Anyway, Dark Magician Girl, 2 copies of Timaeus the United Dragon, 1 copy of Mahard, 1 Apprentice Illusion Magician, the 3 Rods, Magicaribo, and 3 copies of Magician's Souls. Now, the other month there was an annoying development with this card. Originally, this had no points, but now it currently has 15 points. I don't understand why. I mean, either Dark Magician is really that good in Genesis, or it's being used and abused in something else. Can't think what, but yeah, it's a bit annoying, but I still managed to fit it in. And finally, 2 copies of Illusion of Chaos. So that's it for monsters. On with the spells. So for the spells, we have 1 Salvation. I think 1's okay. I've seen builds that play 2 of it, but I'm not sure that's necessary. Then 3 copies of Dark Magical Circle, best spell in the deck. Dark Magic Attack, Bond between teacher and student, Dark Burning Magic, 3 copies of Soul Servant, 2 copies of Secrets of Dark Magic, Eye of Timaeus, Monster Reborn, which was originally 5 points, but it's dropped down to just 4 points, which makes things easier. Then Pot of Greed, which is worth 30, and rather annoyingly, I didn't see this all day. How? I don't understand. Same with this, which would have really helped in my last match. Regeki, didn't see that at all either. And Twin Twisters to round up the spells. Right, and now on to the traps. So for the traps we have 2 copies of Eternal Soul, which I'm still thinking of bumping up back to 3, especially since Dark Magician the Dragon Knight is now banned in Regenesis format. Mirror Force, because why not? Starlight Road for protection of Eternal Soul mainly. breakthrough skill for monster effect negation, and something I can use in combination with a Magician's Souls if I wanted to, and Solemn Strike. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention about Regeki. It was at 7 points, but now it's at 4, and Solemn Strike is still sitting at 5 points. Right, that's going to do it for the main deck. On with the extra deck. Starting with fusions, 2 copies of Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. Like I said, banned in Regenesis format now, but still fair game in Genesys. Then Master of Chaos, Amulet Dragon, Dark Magician the Knight of Dragon Magic, good old Dark Paladin, 2 copies of the Dark Magicians, one of the only 2 fusions I summoned today. Actually, no, I did summon Amulet Dragon once and Dragon Knight once, and got the Dragon Champion to summon off the Knight of Dragon Magic. The only synchro, of course, I play is Stardust Dragon, which can only be summoned off Starlight Road, of course. And finally, there's just 5 Xyz monsters. Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, that's worth 1 point. Although this is also banned in Regenesis format, again, it's fair game in Genesys. And Draco Sack, Big Eye, aka Just One Cornetto, Ebon Illusion Magician, and Ebon High Magician. I mean, High Magician just fills space, but still very good and underrated, and is very easy to pull out of most of a case of the Dark Illusion. And I don't normally show any side decks in deck profiles, but because this is also a tournament report, I will show what I sided. I wish I could have made a better side deck, but I'll explain why. So we've got 2 Chaos Hunters, because I was, like I said, I was scared I might run into something with Bestials or Runics, and there wasn't any, although there was another deck which does banishing, which I'll talk about in a minute. 3 Gamma Seals in case I run into any negates, and this is a wild choice, but I also put in Necroface, because again, I was scared I'll run into stuff that banishes. But yeah, this is great for putting back anything that I have banished, although it does help the opponent out as well, in a way, but yeah, it never came up. I can't remember if I sided it in for my 3rd match, but yeah. And also 2 copies of Primite Fusion. Again, this is an option in case Dark Magician ended up getting banished, and was something Gunner suggested I play some time ago. Because Primite Fusion says it allows me to fusion summon any dragon fusion monster by shuffling its materials from the field, graveyard, or banishment into the deck, including a normal monster, in which case it would be Dark Magician, and well, the other effect doesn't matter, because well, I don't have any Primite monsters. I know I said I don't care about Primites, but Primite Fusion, yeah, I'm willing to give a go. And Harpy's Feather Duster, just in case. This was worth 15 points, I believe, but now it's at 9 points. But again, this is all at the time of recording. We're following the March points list change. I had this, you know, just in case there was some kind of annoying back row. It was more of a filler than anything. Pot of Acquisitiveness, again shuffling back any of my monsters that get banished. Because the mindset with these was, I probably can't stop Dark Magician getting banished by a Bestial, but I can at least get him out of the banished zone. Then 3 copies of Waking the Dragon, followed by the only 2 targets I had in the side. Everyone's favourite, right? Full Armour Master and Ultimate Falcon, and I really wish I had either Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon or Egyptian God Slime as well, and I'll explain why when I talk about the matchups. So, the matchups, there were just 4 rounds. Actually wasn't sure how many they were going to be. I thought maybe there'd be 5, but there were only 4 in the end. So my first round was against, I'm probably going to butcher this name, Emrah. He was playing, well, basically a similar deck to what Weber's 5 is playing nowadays, White Forrest, Azamina stuff. He made a pretty nutty opening board in game 1, which included the Fusion 4K defense, which stopped me from targeting my own cards, plus that card. You had that White Forest monster, which gives White Forest monsters destruction immunity, plus Vengeance, which pops a card by paying half life points. So I tried the best I could to play through it, but I think Vengeance popped my Dark Magical Circle. I was able to use Dark Magician to destroy one of his monsters all the same, but then the Angel did something to completely overwhelm my board and game me. Game 2, I did side in Waking the Dragon plus Full Armour Master and Ultimate Falcon. I don't remember what I did turn. Well, I think I had Rod, Apprentice and Dark Magician on the field. Apprentice and Rod got booked by something, if I'm remembering this right. I think I had Eternal Soul up as well, and that got popped, and he did something to banish. Oh wait, I remember. He made. Wait, no, I'm remembering now, because he was also running the Toy Box engine as well in it, and he got out Toy Tank and Toy Soldier. He synchro summoned this level 6 White Forest Synchro Tuner, and I was worried that he might make a Chaos Angel, so when that hit the field I used Eternal Soul to get up Dark Magician, use Circle to banish it so he couldn't summon Chaos Angel. The problem was he did something to pop Eternal Soul, which in turn popped my monsters, and then he managed to get out a Chaos Angel anyway, and that banished my Waking the Dragon, which I then used to bring out Ultimate Falcon, which threw him and some spectators off. They were like, oh my god! But here was the problem with bringing out Ultimate Falcon. It and Chaos Angel have the same attack points, and all he had to do was crash into it and attack the game, which he did. See, this is why I wish I had Alternative Ultimate Dragon or Egyptian God Slime, because he wouldn't have been able to overpower the Ultimate Dragon, whereas Egyptian god sign can't be destroyed by battle. So yeah, I wish I managed my side deck options a bit better to try and include those if I could. So that was that one. Round 2, I went up against Raph, who has the nickname Mr. Easy Win. His words, not mine. Okay, I don't know if he gave it to himself or whether someone else gave it to him, but yeah, this was a younger guy who doesn't seem to win a lot of games, hence the nickname. And how do I describe this? Play some pretty funky random decks as well. And what he was using was Cyber Dragons with some Hecker Hands stuff. Or at least there was only one Hecker Hands monster which had the ability to special summon itself if I added something, and also had the ability to special summon a monster from my graveyard, but it would be banished if it left the field. I was like, ooh, better watch out for that one. And I forget the name of this Hecker Hands monster, but he got it out as soon as I added something off Magician's Rod. He then normal summoned Core, and I forget what he added. It might have been Cyber Emergency, and I think no. Wait. No, I remember. He special summoned Nashta by discarding the Core for some reason, and then special summoned the Core back, which was a bit confusing, because surely you'd want to normal summon the Core and get the search, right? Not that I was complaining, I didn't question it, but it didn't seem to do much else, and I was able to get out a Dark Magician, banish the Hecker Hands monster, but oh yeah, I also had Mahard and another Rod, I think, and I don't remember what happened after that, but it was smooth sailing after that. And then game 2 we saw more of the Cyber Dragon stuff, but then there was some Cyber Dark stuff. There was a point in the match where he went into Cyber Dragon Nova, and fearing that he might have Infinity, I used Eternal Soul, brought out a Dark Magician and banished the Nova, though he claimed he wasn't going to go into Infinity, he was just going to use Nova's effect to power itself up and attack over any of my monsters. But I didn't want to take that chance. I've suffered enough against Infinity. And I simply finished him off by attacking over his monsters with Dark Magician the Dragon Knights, Dark Magician, played Secrets of Dark Magic and made Amulet Dragon, and yeah, attacked directly for the win. So managed to even out the score. And then things went downhill, which brings me to round 3, which was against, I don't know if I'm going to say this name right, Takshing or Tarshing. Yeah, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering this name. Yeah, this was where I ran into a banished deck, more specifically Regenesis, which I've never played against before, and is one of those newer archetypes I'm not familiar with. So I brought out the Dark Magicians on turn 1, and he brought out a Dogmatica monster, and at first I was thinking, okay, it's Dogmaticas, I should be able to handle this, but then all this Regenesis stuff came out of nowhere, which involved getting out 2500 beat sticks and banishing a 2500 beat stick to special summon another one. And then he played this really annoying spell, Regenesis Cycle, which states if you control a monster with 2500 original attack or defense, target a card the opponent controls, or you can target 2 if you control Regenesis Lord and banish that card or cards, which of course Regenesis Lord was on the field, and it banished both the Dark Magicians and my Starlight Road, and I got OTK'd, which didn't feel great. And I sided in the Chaos Hunters, I do know that, and my Waking the Dragon package, actually I don't think I did put in Necroface. So yeah, sided it in, and guess what? That typical bad luck happened. I drew none of my sided cards and didn't have a good hand. All I could do was use Magician's Souls to special a Dark Magician, set Mirror Force and pass, and then he set up that board again and got used and activated Regenesis Cycle again, and sensing he was going to OTK me again and not wanting my Dark Magician banished, I just decided to scoop it up right there and then. Yeah, I'd rather take the L than have Dark Magician banished and have no way to recover. So yeah, that wasn't great. I just didn't really get a chance to do anything in that match, not really. So seeing there was no way I was going to win this tournament, then again it would have been doubtful even if the round 1 loss was my only loss. I decided to try and win the rest of my games if I could. So this brings me to the 4th and final round, which was against Ashley, who was playing Blackwings. So I thought, okay, this shouldn't be too difficult. Boy, was I wrong. He summoned 3 copies of Blackwing Assault Dragon on turn 1, which made it really dangerous activating any monster effects. So with 3 of them, it meant I would get burnt for a total of 21 every time I did. And I was able to resolve 3 monster effects, Apprentice, Rod, Souls, but even though I did manage to clear one of the Assault Dragons, I couldn't follow up, and so it was just like, yeah, game 2, it lives socks. Luckily, I did have Gamma Seal, which I sided in. I didn't see it at all, but in game 2 I didn't even need it, because I was able to get my whole Dark Magician bond between teacher and student setup going, and and then he went, activate Black Whirlwind, activate a second Black Whirlwind, normal Shamal, and try and search, and I thought, yeah, I think I should fire off the Dark Burning Magic now, and hope he can't follow up from it, and it worked out, and he scooped us up and we went to game 3. And this was the only match that went to a third game. And here's when things went downhill again. He once again dropped 3 copies of Blackwing the Salt Dragon. Now, my only outs were Regenesis, Mirror Force and Gamma Seal. Didn't draw any of them. I drew an absolute brick of a hand. I had 2 Dark Magicians, Dark Magician Girl, Bond, Soul Servant, and the 6th card I had was Dark Magical Circle, which would have been maybe fine. The problem was he had Shanga in the graveyard, which he used to pop Circle immediately, and yeah, there was just nothing I could do after that. So yeah, not a great result overall. I mean, it was still fun, but yeah, it was just really unfortunate losing against Blackwings. I mean, White Forrest and Regenesis, yeah, I can see they'd be tough matchups, but you know, Dark Magician should easily be able to beat Blackwings, you know, despite the Assault Dragon and Full Armor Master being a thing. But yeah, I just had a lot of bad luck just right at the end. Yeah, it was just not a great way for the whole thing to end, just getting an absolute brick of a hand. Feels bad. And out of 15 people that played, I finished second last. And yeah, as you saw from the quick pack opening, this was what I got. Common Twin Twisters was quite nice to get, actually. But yeah, it was still a good time. Everyone I interacted with was very friendly, very welcoming, which was just awesome, considering I was initially nervous about meeting new people. Although there were a couple of familiar names that popped up. Jay Pierce and Shazeb from the Groovy Frog locals, like several years back. I didn't interact with them, but yeah, there we are. And I actually picked up quite a nice trade haul, actually, from a couple of the guys. I picked up an Excalibur, which I was missing from my Rainbow Neos deck, which I plan to use in the Genesis version of Rainbow Neos. I know I've already had the Ultimate Rare one, but it's in one of my collections. And I also picked up Synchro Overtake for Stardust Junk, because Dragon Master keeps saying I should put this in, even though I've never needed it. And the guy I got this off also threw in Synchro Transmission. Don't know if I'll use it, but I'll give it a try. Picked up a Masked Hero Furnace for my Masked Hero collection. A couple of polys for one of my past format Elemental Hero decks. And I finally have Double Fusion. 4 copies, but still. So that's 1 for the Jaden deck collection and 3 that I might use. And from one of the piles, so Emrah just casually gave me these. I guess they were left over from pack pulls. And not only that, I also picked up a few things for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I picked up more copies of Magician Souls than I probably should have done for your Magician Girl deck. There could be I could end up putting 2 or 3 in, not sure yet.
Yeah.
Probably 2, and we have a spare one now, and a couple of yummy cards, which I don't think you have.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, the spells were from a trade, and the assist was in a common pile. Oh, I did casually mention about possibly recording games in the future, and it seemed like it would have been fine to do so. I mean, I would have asked beforehand, but wasn't too sure, and I felt maybe I should get to know everyone first before I possibly bring it up. So, yeah, I should be able to record games in the future whenever I go down there. Yu-Gi-Oh stuff does happen like every Sunday there as well as every Thursday evening, but Thursday evenings I feel like would be a bit too tricky, because obviously there's the charity shop stuff that I do, along with the fact that you do evening shifts and want me to come and get you.
Yeah. That's Thursdays, isn't it? And Fridays.
Yeah. But some days I could potentially keep coming to, even if I don't play in the normal tournaments.
Well, Claire said she'll give me a lift.
Well, that might be alright then. But
It means.
yeah, well, even so, I don't know about going off down there, like, as soon as I finish the charity shop stuff. Plus I don't know how long the evening locals would run for. Plus it's like travelling back at night, so it's like, don't know about that. But yeah, coming down for Sundays, I'm sure I can easily manage. It was also said that Genesys tournaments will probably be a once a month kind of deal as well. There was also some brief talk of possibly trying out the domain format. I briefly mentioned it in another video I did last year. For those who don't know what domain format is, it's basically a battle royal kind of deal with no ban list, and there's sort of a deck master involved, and I think you have to pay a certain amount of life points to put it out on the field and switch it back and forth in the domain zone, if I'm remembering it right. So yeah, it's kind of like the commander thing in Magic the Gathering. Yeah, I don't know jack shit about Magic the Gathering. Well, maybe some things. I mean, I was kind of dismissive of domain format, but maybe I'll give it a shot. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see how frequently I can go there on a Sunday, and it might be possible to record games in the future. Emrah said that no one would mind, but yeah, obviously I'd have to ask for consent and see if it's okay, but yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Magician YouTube channel.